to let you know that I'll be recording the session tonight. And I would just like to take a moment to share the disclaimer slide really quickly. So if you can just take a peek at that, and then we can hop right into our practice tonight. Great, thank you so much for your patience on that. Welcome everyone, my name is Melissa, and today I'll be guiding you through a candlelit yoga practice for 45 minutes. So at home, if you want to dim your lights, if you have some candles, you can get those out. I really love the LED lights, they're nice and safe and good for the environment. So they also create a really nice ambiance, setting the space for the practice. Remember to listen to your body. So if any stretches are not working for you, please skip them, come on out and modify. So I was thinking today we would start in a seated position. We'll just give ourselves a moment here to close the eyes and to gently bring your awareness to your body and your breath. And just noticing where your body is meeting the ground, the edges of legs, the edges of the feet. And then grounding through the sitting bones, begin to lengthen the spine, lengthen the back of the neck. Reach and stretch through the crown of the head. And then dropping in and connecting to the rise and the fall of the breath. Lengthening as you breathe in and lengthening as you breathe out. And then as you're gently breathing here, just feeling your body reacting to the breath. As you inhale, feel your navel rise. As you exhale, feel your navel fall. As you inhale, feel your ribs expanding with breath. We'll expand through the front body, through the back body, through the right side and the left side of the body. And then on the exhale, feel the ribs gently flow in towards one another. So we'll just feel the front ribs, back ribs coming in, right side and left side ribs coming in towards one another. And then breathe into the stomach. We'll breathe into the ribs. And then taking the breath up to the chest, so right to the collarbone. Breathing in, feel your chest rise. Breathing out, feel your chest fall. And then knowing each time that you breathe, you bring life, you bring oxygen to all of the cells throughout your body. A moment to set an intention for your practice tonight. So intention is just your own personal goal and desire for the class. Let's start with a gentle release of your neck. Take your chin to your chest, strengthen the back of your neck. And then letting your head roll to the right. So we'll just take our right ear to the right shoulder. Come back to center. Take your chin to your chest. And then release your head off towards the left. And then bring yourself back to center. And let's take that movement into circles. So maybe find large circles and maybe find smaller circles here. And then as you're flowing, just feel yourself moving with the breath. And try to melt tension away with each exhale. And then begin to circle in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement. And then as you're flowing and circling, try to relax your eyebrows and relax through your jaw. Let's bring ourselves into circles here. So we'll begin to gently shift the weight around from side to side. And then this will be Great movement for getting into your low back, getting into the mid, into the upper back. And also great for getting into the sides of the body a little bit. So we'll just find a little length here and find a little bit of space here. Let's begin to circle in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement. And then as you're circling, feel your body reacting to the movement as you shift your weight to the right. Maybe feel your left sitting bone, feel your left leg lift up and lift from the ground a bit. Let's bring ourselves into a neutral spine. Take your chin to your chest on your exhale. Try to round your back. And then heart comes forward and shoulders relax away from the ears. Let's take our chin to our chest on the exhale. Round your back body. And heart floats forward, shoulders relax. And then moving through cat and dog stretch for a moment. Lengthen as you inhale. Lengthen as you exhale. As you inhale, let your shoulders relax from your ears. We'll create that space between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. And then on the exhale, really rounding your back. So imagining creating space between the shoulder blades. Let's bring ourselves into a neutral spine here. We're going to come on forward into table. And as you come into table, maybe grab a blanket to pad your knees. We'll take our knees, our hips in line, wrists and shoulders in line. Feel the fingers get wide, so press down through the index finger and press down through your thumb. Let's take our right leg behind us. So we'll give ourselves a moment here to press out through the heel and the back of the knee. So we'll just have those toes curled under, actively press here. Inhale and exhale. Lift your heel up in line with your hip, and then maybe roll your hip down a little bit. Try to even off your low back in your hip. And left hand will reach and stretch out in front. Feel your arm frame your ear and your thumb to the sky. As you exhale, let's take our knee and our elbow to touch. So we'll do a little round and a crunch. Lengthen. Exhale, round. Lengthen. 3 more times with the breath. When that feels complete, let's reset back into table. So hand down, knee down. Flowing through cat and dog. So let's lower the stomach, lift up through the heart. Let your tailbone lower. Let the crown of the head lower. And then move with the breath for a moment. Try to lengthen your spine as you inhale. Lengthen your spine as you exhale. As you inhale, let your shoulders relax from your ears. We'll create that space between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. And then on the exhale, round your back. So imagine creating space between the shoulder blades. And coming into a neutral spine here, let's begin to straighten out our left leg. So we'll take a moment here to press out through the heel and the back of the knee. Lifting your heel up, let's take our heel in line with hip. Imagine you could balance a block on your low back. Right hand reaches and stretches out in front of you. Let's take those 5 crunches total. And release. Let's put ourselves back into table and circling through the hips here a bit. So we'll just begin to gently float the weight around. And then this will be great movement for getting into your low back, getting into the mid, into the upper back. And then also getting into the sides of the body a little bit. So just find a bit of length and we'll find a bit of space here. Let's begin to flow in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement. Bring yourself into stillness. Let's come into a child's pose as you exhale. Hips to your heels, heart lowers down. Give yourself a nice deep full breath in and a nice deep full breath out. Let's come on forward into table. Full breath here. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we'll curl our toes under, draw sitting bones to sky, and shake it out a little bit here. Maybe bend one knee, bend the other knee. Let your head relax, yes, and let your head relax, no. So in down dog, we try to create an upside down V shape with our body. And this pose is really a nice inversion. We get to open up the hamstrings and the calves a little bit, and it's really nice for our low back as well. Let's come into plank. We'll just ripple forward through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, and lower all the way down to the mat. Let your hands come out in front of you, elbows in line with your shoulders. Maybe reach for opposite arms here, and breathe into your low back bend. And option to stay here. You could lift up for a low cobra. So hands press down, elbows lift up, and elbows wrapped in, and arms can straighten for feel. Let's reach and stretch through the crown of the head. We're going to make our way down to the ground when you're ready, and down dog as you exhale. Let's bring ourselves into a fold at the top of your mat and shake it out a little bit here. So it may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee, and relax your head yes, and relax your head no. So if the ground is feeling far away, let's bring the hands on blocks for a little bit of support, and maybe have a deep bend in the knees too. That can be a really nice way to protect and modify the stretch. Hands to the right, let's find a side stretch here, ground evenly through both of your feet, inside and outside of each foot. Back onto the center, hands to the other side. And back to center, back into a fold. Let's bring ourselves to a half lift here. Lift your spine and lengthen your spine. Let's fold it down. And coming on up, mountain pose as you inhale, hands at your heart space as you exhale. Let's bring our hands to the sky, and we'll take our right hand and reach for the left wrist. We'll just wrap the fingers around the wrist. Hands reach up, breathe in. Take your right hand for your left wrist, and then take your left foot to the right. Release your hands to the right. We are going to imagine that you could pull your left hand to the right side of the room. So just give you this really nice side stretch. Bring yourself back to center here. Let's realign through the spine. We'll change up the grip in the hands. Let's lengthen and release to the left. And back onto the center. Let's release our hands. We'll do a reset on our feet, and then try that on the other side. So hands can reach up as you breathe in. Let's take our left hand to the right wrist, right foot to the left. Lengthen and release to the left. Try to ground evenly through both of your feet, so inside and outside of each foot. Take ourselves back to center. Change up the grip in the hands and release to the right. And reset back to center. Let's release those hands behind the body. We'll do a reset on our feet. Let's try Yoga Mudra here. So for this one, fingers will interlock. You'll take your palms together. And maybe imagine you could squeeze a pencil between the shoulder blades. Keeping the spine straight, option to fold down if you'd like. You can relax the fronts of your shoulders. And then just let yourself melt here. So this is going to be that nice, awesome shoulder opener. Let's gently release our hands onto our low back. Let your hands float down to the mat. Right foot takes a step back for a runner's lunge. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. So as we flow with the breath here, with each exhale, feel your legs straighten. On your inhale, feel the knee bending. And then on your exhale, let's begin to straighten the front leg. We'll give ourselves a nice little fold forward. Let your spine relax. Try to relax the back of your head and the back of your neck. Left knee will bend. Left hand to the sky. Let's take a runner's twist. And then as you're twisting here, on the in-breath, feel your spine lengthen. On your out-breath, let your twist deepen. Let's lower the hand down, engage your core. Let's come on up for a Crescent Warrior. So we'll sweep those hands right on up to the sky. Let's square the hips and the shoulders forward. So we'll draw that right hip forward, right shoulder forward, left hip comes back, and then left shoulder draws back a bit. Bringing off your back foot, let's try out crane. So we're gonna sweep that right leg out in front, arms out into T with soft wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Find your drishti. Let's find that one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. Let's float our right foot back. We will come into a warrior one pose from here. So we'll take our right foot back, right heel lowers, hands reach to the sky as you inhale. And ground really firmly into that right foot. So let's get a nice calf stretch and a nice hamstring stretch. We will take our hands behind the body a little bit here. We'll take a shoulder stretch. So for this one, we're going to take our right hand down our back, and then that left hand will draw you into that shoulder release. Try to square the hips and shoulders forward. We'll take a full breath in and out. Hands can reach up to the sky. Breathe here. Left hand down your back. Right hand draws you into that stretch. Full breath in and full breath out. Hands can sweep to the sky. Let's breathe here. We're going to lower those hands down. Let's float ourselves into a lunge. Come on back to plank, high push-up pose. Holding an upward facing dog, let's lower down chaturanga. Upward facing dog, gaze off the right shoulder, look back for your right toes. Come back to center, gaze off your left shoulder. Back to center. Let's take a full breath here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's bring ourselves forward. We're going to come to a fold at the top of the mat. Half lift here. Forward fold. Rise. Mountain as you inhale. Hands at the heart space as you exhale. Let's take our hands up and we'll take steeple this time. So fingers interlock and then release the index finger. So hands will sweep to the sky as you breathe in. Fingers interlock, release the index fingers. Let's release to the right. And then almost create a sensation like your right hand could pull your left hand to the right side of the room. Come back on through to center. Let's lengthen here and release to the left. Feel grounded to both of your feet, inside and outside of each foot. Back on through to center. Let's release those hands behind the body for Yoga Mudra. Let's lengthen, fold it down, devotional forward fold. Maybe draw your weight into your toes. Give yourself a little bit more calf stretch and hamstring stretch. Maybe draw your weight back into the heels. Give yourself a nice stretch for the top of your feet. Hands onto your low back. Hands can float down to the mat. Let's take our left foot back. Runner's lunge. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. Let's begin to straighten the front leg. Fold yourself over. Right knee bends. Right hand to the sky. Let's take our twist. And then gently releasing your hand down. Engage your core. Let's rise up. Crescent Warrior. Activate your back leg. Let's press really firmly through the heel and the back of the knee. So just want to feel that that leg is active, engaged, and energized. Bringing off your back foot, let's come on through for crane. Feel really grounded through all the parts of your right foot. So we'll press through the inside to the outside. And then notice your body's natural tendencies. You tend to roll in, maybe tend to roll to the outside of the foot. Let's try out Warrior One. Left foot back, left heel lowers, hands to the sky, breathing here. Core engages. Let's feel our tailbone tuck and feel your navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. Let's begin to try out that shoulder stretch. So left hand on your back, right hand draws you into the stretch. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's take those hands to the sky, full breath here. Right hand floats down your back. And then releasing, let's take our hands up to the sky. Nice full breath here. We're gonna lower those hands down. Find your runner's lunge. Float yourself into plank. Let's take a high push-up pose. We're going to hold that up dog again. Let's lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Gaze off your left shoulder this time. So let's look back for those left toes. Back to center. Let's realign, lengthen, and gaze off your right shoulder. Back to center. We'll realign here. Take a breath and exhale, downward facing dog. Knees will begin to lower. Hips to the heels. Let's float ourselves into a child's pose. And then as you take child's pose, noticing where you might be holding onto tension. And then with each exhale, just let that tension go. And let's begin to release. We are going to float ourselves back into a down dog when you are ready. Let's make our way to the top of the mat, landing in a fold. Bring yourself to a half lift. Hold yourself to the mat. Let's rise, mountain on the in-breath. And hands at the hip space on the out-breath. Let's lift that right leg up. We'll try out tree pose. We'll come into Vrksasana. So for tree, you can be right up on the toes of the right foot. You can bring your foot anywhere on the leg that feels comfortable. So we just don't want to place our foot right onto the knee joint. So below the knee or above the knee is fine. You can also lift it up high if you'd like as well. Hands can reach up and overhead if you'd like a little shoulder release here. And feel that right knee roll back a little bit. Try to give yourself a bit of a hip opener. So as we roll that right knee back, breathe into the opening for our hips and legs. And also even off your hip. So sometimes that right hip can lift and rise up a bit. So maybe roll that hip down a little bit, evening off the low back and then evening off through your hips. Let's try standing splits from here. So as you're in tree, hands at your hips and fold yourself down to the mat. Let's take our gaze to the wall behind us. Maybe take the gaze to the ceiling up behind the body. A lot of times as we relax our gaze like that, it can just help you move deeper into your leg stretch and hip stretch. Let's take our knee into our nose on our exhale. Do a little round and a crunch. Send your leg up and send it back. Exhale, round, knee into nose. Send it up, float it back. And let's go 3 more times with the breath. Back on through to standing split. Let's take ourselves to Warrior Two pose. So as you set up in Warrior Two, ground really firmly through your feet. So we'll press firmly through our front foot and our back foot. And then almost imagine that you could draw your feet in towards one another. So just letting your legs be really active, engaged, and energized. Let's take a reverse Warrior Two pose. We'll float that front hand up and back. Let your core engage. Let's come on through. Take it down to a lateral angle. Maybe lower your hand down. Maybe try out extended lateral angle if you would like. We're going to float ourselves back on up. And then forward and back for a minute. So we'll just kind of flow with our breath here. Maybe each time you move a little deeper into the stretch, you feel your hips open a bit more. You can kind of open through the shoulders a little bit more. Let's come on back through to Warrior Two pose. Windmill your hands down to the mat. Let's float ourselves to our lunge. Come on back into plank, high push-up pose. Lower down, chaturanga, up dog. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Down dog, breathe out. Let's bring ourselves forward, back through fold. Take a half lift here. Fold yourself to the earth. Let's rise, mountain on the in-breath. Hands at the heart space on the out-breath. Last leg will rise up this time. Let's try tree, even off the sides of our body. Hands up if you'd like. Maybe do a little scan here of your body, noticing where you might be holding onto tension. And then with each exhale, let that tension go. Let your body relax and release into the stretch. From tree pose, let's put ourselves into a standing split position. So you can gently release those arms and send your legs to the sky. Gaze to the wall behind you. Maybe take your gaze to the ceiling up behind your body. Knee into your nose and the exhale. Let's do our round and a crunch. Send your legs up and back. Exhale, round. 3 more times with the breath. Let's take ourselves to Warrior Two from here. Let your shoulders relax from the ears. We'll create a little space between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. Let's try reverse warrior. So just float that right hand up and back. Reaching and stretching from the right waist, lengthen the side body arm and fingertips. Come on through. Let's bring ourselves down to a lateral angle. And maybe extended lateral angle. Maybe floating your arm down or engage. Let's go 7 times total, forward and back. And then whenever that feels complete, let's take ourselves back on through. We'll do a reset to Warrior Two. And let's windmill the hands down to the mat. Come to a runner's lunge. Let's bring ourselves into plank, high push-up pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Try to open the chest and the heart. Let's breathe into that nice back bend. We'll press back to down dog when you're ready. And try out a nice hip opener. Let's bring that right leg to the sky. We'll bend, stack, and open. Right knee to the right wrist. And we'll come into pigeon. You can always prep your body. If that back knee is sensitive, maybe grab a blanket. You can also put a block under that right hip as well. And then we'll just take a nice full breath here to lengthen. You can stay here. You may want to let yourself fall down as you exhale. And then just letting your eyes close here. Try to relax the eyebrows, relax your jaw. Try to let go of tension through the back of your head and the back of your neck. Relax the shoulders, the arms, the hands. And relaxing the upper, mid, and low back. And then relaxing the legs, relaxing the feet of tension. Let's give ourselves a breath here. And then when you're ready, press yourself back. We'll come into a downward facing dog as you exhale. Last leg will float to the sky. We'll bend, we'll stack, open, and then float that left knee forward. Full breath here to lengthen. You can always stay up on the hands. You can let yourself drop down if you'd like as well. And feel yourself connecting with your breath. Breathe into your stomach. Feel the navel rise on the in-breath and then fall on the out-breath. Feel the ribs expanding on the in-breath and then contracting on the out-breath. Feel your chest rise as you inhale. Feel your chest fall as you exhale. And knowing each time that you breathe, you bring life, you bring oxygen to all of the cells throughout your body. Letting your core engage, let's begin to prasana. And to come out on this side, let's begin to sweep our weight off towards the left, and then our right foot's going to take a float forward. You can shake your legs out in front of you, and then let's bring the soles of the feet to touch. We'll take our knees away from one another. We'll feel the insides of the feet roll from one another. Full breath here. Let's lengthen and then fold yourself down as you exhale. Maybe pulling the feet gently away from one another, seeing if that gives you a little bit more stretch in your body. Feel the eyebrows and jaw relaxing and releasing. Try to let go of tension through the back of your head and neck. And flowing up through the spine, we'll come on up one vertebrae at a time. Top of the hands, legs can come together, legs extend out in front. Let's give them a little bit of a shake out. And from here, let's bring ourselves down onto our back. Happy baby stretch to start. Begin to reach for your feet and press out through your heels. And gently rock to the right and gently rock to the left. And so as we create this windshield or little rocking side to side, just imagine that you could bump your feet up on the ceiling. Bring your knees into your chest. Let's give them a nice little hug in. Gently rock to the right and to the left. And release your legs to the right. Let's bring ourselves into a spinal twist. We'll come into Supta Masti Andrasana. Maybe gaze off your left shoulder. And then allow for your eyes to close. Try to relax your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Try to let go of tension through the back of your head and neck. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. And then relaxing the upper, mid, and low back. And then relaxing the legs and relaxing the feet of any tension. Let's bring ourselves back into our back. We'll take a neutral spine here. Knees hug to your chest. And then let's drop off to the other side. So our spinal twist has a lot of benefits. It is really good for the internal organs. They say it has similar to a tourniquet effect. So we're kind of creating this twist here. And then once we release our twist, then everything is released. Blood, oxygen flows freely through the body, can kind of flush out anything that's not serving us. And we can also get a really great stretch on that IT band on our right leg, and we can get into a really nice side stretch. It's also very relaxing and soothing for the mind and the body. Let's bring ourselves back onto our back. You can take your knees into your chest, hug them in, gently rock to the right, and gently rock to the left. And then bringing that rocking into circles. We'll maybe find large circles, maybe find smaller circles here. And then begin to circle in the other direction. And then as you find stillness here, let's take some moments for relaxation. We can come into Shavasana. This is the resting pose of the yoga practice. So feel free to take any final stretch or movement that is needed. Traditional Shavasana is your legs are relaxed and your arms are relaxed. If your low back is a little crazy at all or muscles are sore, you can always bend your knees and plant your feet. That just helps to relax the back muscles. They say that this is the most important pose of our practice, that it gives us an opportunity to integrate all of the benefits into the mind and into the body. yourself a moment to deepen your breath. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Make your way onto your side. Let's come into a fetal position for a moment. Maybe create a pillow with your lower arm, gently support your head, and just feel your body taking the shape of the pose. Coming up, we can make our way into a seated position when you're ready. And as you come into a seated pose, hands can move into the heart space in prayer in Anjali Mudra. And thanking yourself for practicing yoga, for doing something so good for your mind, body, and spirit. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. It's great to be here with everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
Namaste.
Namaste. We'll see you.
Thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome, Dave.